Syria's Stonehenge. Mysterious ruins in desert could be 10,000 years old, but scientists can't get near to investigate. Wow, this is very interesting now, isn't it? This article appears on Mail Online and was published on the 26th of June 2012. A mysterious ancient building in Syria, described as a landscape for the dead, could be as old as 10,000 years, far older than the Great Pyramid. But scientists have been unable to explore the ruins, unearthed in 2009, because of the conflict in the region. The strange stone formations were uncovered in 2009 by archaeologist Robert Mason of the Royal Ontario Museum, who came across the stone lines, circles and tombs in a near lifeless area of the desert. Mason talked about the finds at Harvard's Semitic Museum, and he said that more investigation is required to understand the mysterious rock structures and how old they are. But Mason is unsure whether he will ever be able to return to the ruins. The strange formations were found around 50 miles north of Damascus. The area has been plagued by violence during the current unrest, including a massacre of 10 people in the village of Bakha, north of the capital. Research teams have been unable to return to the area since the discovery. Mason thinks that the rock formations could date to the Neolithic period or early Bronze Age, 6,000 to 10,000 years ago. The stones are arranged simply to stand out from the landscape and are highly unusual because there are no signs of dwelling places anywhere. What it looked like was a landscape for the dead and not for the living, Mason said. It's something that needs more work, and I don't know if that's ever going to happen. The formations were found near a monastery, Deir Muzia, which was occupied until the 19th century and home to spectacular Christian frescoes. Mason thinks the monastery may have once been a Roman watchtower destroyed in an earthquake. Mason was searching Roman watchtowers when he came across the stone lines, circles and possible tombs. So interesting that they were found near a Christian monastery, because we know that the Christians went and, well, the Romans basically went and destroyed all of the temples that were sitting on these very, very powerful ley lines, and they demolished them and then built their own churches on top of them. Now, the other thing that I find very interesting is that I'm seeing a bit of a pattern here. Now, this is because I remember an article that was published on Mail Online last year, and this one was about 17 pyramids that were found by infrared camera, and they were discovered by NASA, and you can see them all here. Okay, just under the ground. And what I found so very interesting is that these strange pyramids were found, and there was also temples and other very interesting buildings and ancient sites that were also discovered. And then we have this uprising in Egypt, and Hawass, who was known for not allowing some scientists and archaeologists to do digs on certain parts of the sacred sites, well, he was suddenly thrown in jail. And now it is a free-for-all over in Egypt, and I am certain that NASA and all of the other agencies that were interested in this area have got their grubby little hands on them. And they probably now need more information, which is why they are looking to Syria and Iran. Because people need to understand that Iran has a lot of very sacred and special ancient sites, just like Iraq. Iraq was actually the place where humans were first discovered. Human civilization was first discovered in Iraq. A lot of people don't realize that, and this is because these countries have now been renamed. So we have Iraq that gets invaded, and of course, what's the first thing that gets pillaged and plundered? Well, it was their museum, and they had many, many treasures stolen that have never been recovered. I find that very interesting. Then we have Egypt. We have this infrared photography that finds 17 pyramids and other ancient sites, and now that was suddenly, you know, experiencing a uprising and political turmoil, and Hawass is jailed, and now they have access to these areas. And now we see that we have Syria with this very interesting Stonehenge. And what do we have happening over in Syria? Political turmoil. And we don't really have a clear picture of why this is happening or who is perpetuating this violence in Syria. All we have is the propaganda that is being fed to us by the mainstream media. Look, you know, I might be, you know, way out there in what I'm about to say, but I don't think that these wars are about oil or resources or minerals. I think they're about ancient texts. I think they're about information that these assholes want to get their hands on. They know that the shit is rapidly approaching the fan. And, you know, what do you think the Vatican has locked up in their library? Well, all of the ancient texts that they plundered and stole while they were slaughtering, raping, and torturing the ancient cultures that they descended upon. Now, they've probably got quite a bit of information that has allowed them to ready themselves for these times, but there's obviously a lot that is missing and a lot more that they want to know. So it seems pretty curious to me that all of these countries that were known for these ancient ruins and these ancient texts have suddenly experienced these uprisings. Well, I will leave it there. And I'm very interested to hear your comments. And I will also link both of these articles underneath the video. Well, as always, peace out.